So many of you have, in fact, almost all of you have been here for the last 4 years, supporting this work, lifting us up, meeting with me one-on-one, and just supporting the overall effort of the Pontiac Collective Impact Partnership. And for me, where this all began was right here. And I don't know about you, but when I was young, those of us from Pontiac used to take tours of the automotive production plants. Anyone in here did that? So what we saw, we really expected to have those same jobs, right? They were jobs that paid good wages, great benefits, and a pension. And so that really was foremost in my mind. In fact, I'll tell you a quick story. When I graduated, and Glenn, you might be familiar with this, I got a call from Oakland University about a job in admissions. And at that time, the caller ID was out, and I got a call from General Motors. And I put Dr. Robert Johnson on hold for so long, taking that call, that he hung up on me. And so, because I lived 10 minutes away from OU, I put my suit on, ran up to Oakland, apologized, and I just remember sitting in the lobby of the admissions department, and all the lights started going out. It was after 5. It was probably close to 6 o'clock before he actually brought me back to his office to talk to me. And so that really told the story of someone who, even though I earned a college degree, my focus was on General Motors. But we know what happened. General Motors, GM plants closures devastated Detroit suburbs. That's the city of Pontiac. And it talks here about how they lost 6,600 of the 9,000 jobs that were here at Pontiac East Assembly, Pontiac Metal Stamping Plant, and Orion. But this I found also very interesting. Oakland County, one of the most affluent neighborhoods in the country, its largest city, Pontiac, with a population of 66,000 people, suffered decades of plant closures and worsening social distress. A city where auto workers had once attained a decent standard of living. Now the median household income is $31,000, far below the national median income of $44,000. That's where we are essentially today. And that's why we're here, and that's the purpose of our common agenda. Some of you may remember this face. Kone Bowman, former city councilman at the time, talked about how 700 local families lost their homes due to foreclosure as a result of losing our biggest industry. The city of Pontiac and Oakland County sought to address this issue through the Pontiac Moving Forward Plan. Any of you familiar with this plan? It was released 10 years ago. It highlighted several key findings. The first of which, employers are having trouble finding reliable workers for entry-level and advanced work. Most of the advanced, high-paying jobs in Pontiac are filled by people who don't live in Pontiac. There's a need for broad spectrum education and training at all ages and skill levels. And lastly, basic adult education can focus on literacy, life skills, and job skills to help in the hiring and retention of workers. So this is really the strategic direction of not just the city, but also our county. This slide here talks a little bit about the credential attainment or the educational attainment of the city of Pontiac for populations 25 years and older. What you'll see is roughly around 20% of us have an associate's degree or higher. You can probably add another 5% of that for credentials and skilled trades. But essentially, 78% of us don't have an education beyond high school. And that's the reality of Pontiac. And there has to be a critical movement to address that as we move into this global economy. Pull just this brief comment from the Center for Post-Secondary and Economic Success. It said, essentially, the economists referred to access to post-secondary education and training as the arbiter of opportunity in America. We have to do more than just 78% of our population with a credential if we're going to compete in a global economy. So we've come up with a common agenda with your help that we think addresses these challenges in our community. Our common agenda, the goal is to increase credential attainment rate of Pontiac residents ages 25 and older from 20% to 40% by 2030. And by credentials, we mean certifications, apprenticeships, skilled trades, associate's degrees, as well as four-year degrees. Ultimately, our common agenda will empower Pontiac's youth aged 16 to 24 with equitable access to education, skills, and career opportunities by increasing post-secondary education enrollment, increasing soft skills and vocational credentials, and increasing employability skills. And if you look at our common agenda, those are the three areas that we intend to focus on. And every one of you in this room today have a role to play in that. And that's why we invited you today. I want to talk a little about focus area number one, increasing post-secondary education. There are three strategies that we want to implement as a collective unit to address this. Post-secondary education planning. Several of my friends who don't have credentials, as I talk to them today, one of the things that they say to me is they just don't know what they want to do. And when I talk to our kids, Dr. Leverett, that's what they say. I don't know what I want to do. And oftentimes the challenge with us is when we don't know what we want to do, we don't move. So we really need to invest some time in secondary education planning with our students. And I'm really excited about what I'm hearing from some of you in the room today with respect to that. Academic support and mentorship. When I talked to Mr. McIntosh, and I also talked to Dr. Hearns at OCC, they both say the same thing. We can get students, but we struggle to graduate them. And we know data says, and research suggests, that first-generation college students struggle not just through their first year, but also through their second year as well. So we need to figure out ways as a collective to support our students moving forward. And finally, I think we've probably all heard college is just too expensive as an excuse or a reason not to go. But we have the Pontiac Promise Zone in our community. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, I've never heard of the Promise Zone. It's $56,000 free dollars for kids, 50. Thank you, Coco. But $50,000 to go to college just because you graduated from the Pontiac School District. And that's something that we all have to promote and should be an incentive to move towards a credential. And also I should point out that now you can use that money for trade opportunities as well. The second area, vocational training certifications, literacy and numeracy development, and soft skills development. The fact of the matter is, a four-year degree is not for everyone. And even in high school, the Pontiac School District will pay for our students to take dual enrollment courses that lead to certifications. So there's no reason why anyone can't graduate and within their first 6 months after high school graduation be close to or have completed a certification in a variety of areas, particularly aligned with the career academies that this school district is implementing. Literacy and numeracy development, I don't think I have to talk about that. I think we all know the importance of many of our young people that may not have gone on to college, but may want to pursue a trade now, may lack literacy and numeracy skills that are fundamental to navigating toward those opportunities. And so we have people in the room today who can help address that. In soft skills development, I don't think I need to address that. We know we have to do better there. And the third area that I'll talk to you about that we want to focus on from today until 2030 is increasing employability skills. Many of you are hire people from our community, and so you know the challenge that we have. It's a new generation, right? It's hard to keep our kids off their cell phones, right? It's hard to really keep them focused. And so we want to focus on connecting with business partners that have a belief in working with our youth and young adults to help provide them with opportunities for internships, practical work experiences, so that they can get the job skills that are needed to be successful. And also career readiness workshops. Our young adults need help with resumes. They need help with interview prep. And they need help learning how to search for jobs in this technologically advanced society. And lastly, meaningful work-based learning experiences that give kids exposure to healthcare, engineering, IT, beyond the normal roles that we think about when we talk about health in hospitals, doctors and nurses. Well, you can work in human resources. You can work in marketing. There are a variety of things that you can do. And so these three focus areas are really what I want to work with each of you towards building and implementing a common agenda for 2025. As we've talked about our action teams in the past, what we really focused on is we just want to do better, right? Last year, when we focused on FAFSA completion, we increased the FAFSA numbers by 22%. But we want to be very intentional about having a North Star to reach so we can measure the impact weekly and even monthly. And so it starts with looking at our population. And today, I just want to focus on that group 18 to 24 years old, with approximately 5,000 people. And as we get into the action teams, we're going to dig into the numbers in a way similar to this. So we have our population of our city. We have our top target population, 18 to 24. I'm extrapolating that perhaps 20% is consistent with the city of that group may already be pursuing a post-secondary education credential. So that gives us a target of 40,000. If we look at that 40,000 or 4,000 over 60 months, which gets us to 2030, that's 67 adults, young adults that we have to touch in one of our three focus areas every single month. If you look at that divided over the three focus areas, that's 22. And what I mean by that is it could be 20, and I'm dividing it evenly, it could be 22 in each of the three areas. If you look at that over an annual period, that's 800 people, 800 lives that we have to be cognizant of touching every single year for the next 5 years in order to move from 20% credential attainment to 80% to 40% credential attainment. That's doubling the rate of credential attainment in the city of Pontiac, which could lead to transformational change. And that's the essence of what we're trying to do through collective impact. Not just improve the conditions, but make transformational change. And so what I'd like to do now, I've talked enough, is I'd like to get you talking, if I may. We have three areas. What I'd like you to do is think for a moment about which of the three focus areas fit within your organization. And grab a seat at the table, and we'll begin to answer these questions as a group. And at the end of the next 20, 30 minutes, we'll share out, or we'll have facilitators. Myself, Anisha, that's Kirk Mays. For those of you who have not met Kirk Mays, former CEO of Forgotten Harvest. That's Adisa Cheney in the back, professor at Eastern Michigan University, and the University of Michigan are here to help us sort through this. So what I'd like you to do now is take a few moments to find a table, and we'll begin our conversation.
Get people's attention to focus, and we're going to be having some discussions. Figure 2 discussions here, 1 discussion over there. Employability skills is actually the last table in the back. Some of you are easy fits. Some folks have actually relevance where you'll be able to actually spread to multiple tables. I would suggest to go to the table that is your strongest connection. And then from there, once you start getting into discussion, maybe you can jump and hear some of the discussions from the other. Even if it's a job that's actually on the path to them getting to a career path or a vocation that they really want to be able to attain. So this is kind of multifunction. We put it all into 3 groups, but this is not just employability. This is not just credential attainment. This is getting their skills up, getting them aligned, and hopefully getting them aligned with some jobs so we can actually start growing the economic and quality of life, of the economic mobility and quality of life for the people in Pontiac that you all serve. Make sense? Yes. We need all your help. You can identify a table. If you got any questions, let us know.
This is what this should look like when organizations come together for a common goal. Right now, Pontiac is in a state of crisis. There are so many different things that we need to go ahead and make sure we pay heavy attention to, especially when it comes to child development into young adulthood. And this is what this program is actually looking to go ahead and do. That's what this organization is looking to go ahead and do. Bring these entities to the table, the people that are doing the work on a day-to-day basis, to comprise it, to go ahead and make our impact so much more powerful as we look to go ahead and penetrate the community of Pontiac. This is what meetings like this should look like, and this is the type of impact we need to go ahead and see more of in the city of Pontiac.
First of all, let me say thank you. And the one thing I am disappointed I did not do is give each of you an opportunity to go around the room and say who you are and represent. But I won't do that just because I want to get you out of here on time. But I know that each of you are busy, so I do want to express my gratitude for you taking time out of your schedules to come and join us today. So without further delay, what I'd like to do, and we won't be able to get through all of the questions, but I think one of the most important questions was question number 4. So, which was, how do you see your organization engaging in the common agenda? And so what I'll ask is one person from each group, if you could kind of share out some of the things that you all put on the notes. And I'll start with my right hand, Dr. Nishahana.
Thank you, Samino. So we were at key focus area number 1, increasing post-secondary education enrollment. And at our table, I'll just give you an idea who was there, but I think Mike from Oakland University will share what that conversation was like. So we did have La Casa Amigo there. We had Multicultural La Familia there. We had Pontiac School District there. We had Oakland University at the table. We had, I think that was a consensus of everybody that we had at the table, but, Oakland 80 at the table. Where's Carrollton? Oakland 80 was at the table. So each of those organizations, we spent a lot more time on questions 1, 2, and 3, probably questions 2. But in terms of question 4, Mike, if you want to just share what that looked like, what the conversation.
Good morning. So I think for question 4 for our group was more so just figuring out how we could do more. So some of us have already kind of started this work. So trying to figure out better ways to intersect. How do we create common language, working on our marketing, targeted marketing, because each of those demographics that we talked about 18 to 20, 21 to 24 is very different. How we market is also looking at how we can create some success stories from current students or students that are currently in the pipeline. Because what we know is we all have the information, but sometimes it's just the deliverer of the message, right? So sometimes we got to find the people that look like the people we try to attract and provide them with the information and support. So for us, it's just being a good thought partner as well. Getting people to OU for the exposure so they can see it, see themselves there, and figuring out better ways for us to intersect and connect with the people we're trying to attract.
Thank you. Sabina, who else? Anybody else? Another question. Next group. Key focus area number 2. Thank you, Mr. Kurt.
Anybody from focus area number 2 want to speak to what we did? Rhonda, you want to? You sure? Kano, you sure? Well, we had an amazing group, and clearly we had some outspoken people in our group. We also had a very well-equipped group. I mean, listen, again, my name is Kirk Mays. I'm the consultant, myself and Adisa Cheney, that was helping to facilitate and actually help with, helping the team identify the common agenda, make sure that we have the action planning teams aligned with that common agenda. Really, my first time doing any substantive work in Pontiac, and I got to tell you, you guys are all impressive. And from outside looking in type of deal, I really think the future of Pontiac is bright. And with you working together, I think the outcomes to improve quality of life for the population here is inevitable. So congratulations on what you've already been doing. Our group was on soft skills and vocational training. So we talked a lot about some of the challenges that we know that young people are facing. We also talked about quite a bit about the fact that there's a changing demographic and population in Pontiac with a growing Latino population that has to be more present in these conversations. They're going to be a big part of the focus of the change that we're going to need to see and want to see for the community. So that was one of the things that stood out. We also recognize there are a lot of groups that actually do things that would focus on multiple areas of interest. So there's not just one group who's going to say, hey, we do that and we do it well, and that's all we're going to do. Multiple groups have a lot of skills and a lot of people who could actually help and contribute to this. So I think what we have is a really good starting point. What we're going to do next with this information is help support Semino and the team to get in the next grant in for 2025. That's the baseline grant that would actually help us to get a schedule, calendar, let you know when you're going to be coming together, when those action planning teams are going to be actually meeting, at what clip, and also tracking that information with a data system, improving our communication so you all understand what's happening, but you also can actually hand that information off to community members to let them know what's going on, improving outreach, improving parent engagement, a lot of baseline things that the PCIP team will be doing once they're growing. But once we actually get the action planning teams seated and actually working, we'll also be helping with getting other support mechanisms so we can actually make sure we fund the work in addition to funding the team. So let's get ready. Let's go. I think this is awesome.
So I didn't realize I put Kirk and Kano at the same table. My God, you know those two. But so we are missing one table, right? Adisa, were you gonna? Yes.
Hey, everybody. Really quick. A couple of people asked me, listen, we got to connect. And it's kind of what we do when we come to these things. And so because I can't reach everybody and I've got to leave soon, I would say if you're connected to Semino, then you're connected to me. So if you need me, you want to talk to me. If you're connected to Anissa, then you're connected to me. Say, I want to talk to this person, that person, these folks. They know how to get me. All right, now, focus area number 3, employability skills. I'm not going to call on all my folks to come and stand up here, but I just will ask folks to sort of raise their hands. In what ways do you see your organization contributing to the common agenda? Is Pontiac School District in the room? Do we have rep? All right, there they are. Work-based learning and CTE were their responses. Do we have TDC or Talent Development Coalition in the room? All right, coalition building for collective support or impact, working with PCIP to support really the greater macro level work. Thank you very much. Is Central Multicultural in the room? We've got hands up. All right. Setting up new businesses for families and language interpreting or interpreters. Oakland University School of Medicine, are you in the room? Let's see those hands. Hands up. All right. Thank you very much. Medical education, introduction to health fields, mentorship for med students. McLaren Oakland Hospital, are you in the room? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Well, they were. Did I see a hand? Did I miss somebody? McLaren? All right. Providing opportunities for target group to get exposure to career opportunities. How about Trinity? Is Trinity in the room? All right. Experiential learning, volunteering, practicums, and training. There is a construction company in the room. All right. Can you say the name of your organization, please? All right. Heavy equipment training. This is where our folks that are weighed in, this is where they feel that they can bring their skills and resources to bear. Do I see Michigan Works and Oakland 80? Probably a number of people connected to Oakland 80. All right, in the room. Our organization is involved in all three pillars. Not to put words in their mouth, it strongly suggests that they will continue to be involved in all three pillars. All right. And so I would say in conclusion that the work is being done. The work is being done. And so we don't come with a brand new idea to get you to do something new. We've seen that before. The idea and the concept here is to focus our energy. How many of us saw the child with the magnifying glass torturing some poor ant? Have you seen that done before? Imagine a magnifying glass that instead of killing or destroying would actually focus the collective energy and power of the community and all of our resources to change the outcomes collectively that we're all going after, but individually we can't do by ourselves. Imagine if we could bring that together. Imagine if we could look past the fact that you get on my nerves and I get on your nerves and I don't like you when you pulled my contract and I still owe you 50 cents from that bag of chips last Tuesday. Imagine if we could look past all of that. Imagine if the situation was desperate enough, so desperate that we could actually pull our resources, look past some of the crap. I'm not saying the crap's not there. It is. You right. You saw right. Yes, that was a problem. And I still need you. I still need you. I'm done.
I forgot to tell y'all he was a preacher, too. So, where are we on time in this? Okay, so I'm going to get you out of here on time. But there was one profound question that I heard. Jennifer, you you raised the question, which is, I think, a critical question, is how do we all get everybody on the same page? How do we continue to make sure that everyone is held accountable and committed to work? And that's a complex question. With probably not one answer. But the one thing I can say is that when I came here 4 years ago, I had rose-colored glasses on. I really thought that I could bring us all together and we would have peace and tranquility. And what I learned was, those of you that are in this room today, I can count on you. There were a lot of people that we had to kind of distance ourselves with. We learned some valuable lessons in that process. And so I'm going to continue to count on each and every one of you. I'm going to commit to making sure that our lines of communication are stronger, that you are aware of the process, and that is Pontiac Collective Impact Partnership's role and responsibility is to help keep us glued together. And so we will do our part. And lastly, I just want to say, all of you have busy jobs, and you took the time to give up an hour and a half of your schedule today. And I can't tell you how humbled and appreciative I am. The next step for us is a community meeting in January. The dates will be forthcoming, where the aim is to have you come back again, but to the broader community, and kind of share out how your organization connects to the common agenda and how we're going to move forward in unison as a team. And you can expect to hear from me in the next week, quite frankly, about an update on a specific date regarding that. And we're going to move forward, and we are going to make transformational change in the city of Pontiac. That's always been the goal. It is it's not something that you can do overnight, but many of you have been on this journey with us for the last 4 years. And I thank you, appreciate you. And once again, I thank you for coming out today. So I'm going to close. And one more.
Who's one more? I also want to just lift up the hard work of Anisha and Samino to secure funding for 2025. I know there might be a lot of rumors out here, and y'all might be too scared to ask the question, where you gonna get the money from? Because when you just getting funded from like the Funders Collaborative, and what's up with that? And I'm sure you've heard things. So I want to just say, because Samino's probably not going to say it, we do have a soft confirmation from the Bomber Foundation that they're going to be supporting PCIP in 2025. The grant application that PCIP is going to be actually submitting before the end of this month, hopefully, will be going to Bomber directly. We are also with the Executive Council, we also in the final stages of, I guess, or the beginning and opening of negotiations with Goodwill Industries to be the fiduciary going forward. So the team will actually be housed with Goodwill going forward. I also want to take this time to really recognize, lift up, and thank Oakland U for their leadership throughout the entire 4 years. You've been an incredible partner, not without a bit of beating up and turmoil for being that great partner, but thank you for using the thickness of your capacity and competency as an educational leader in this community to actually stand behind PCIP through all this. And we're going to really need OU going forward. So for anybody who's got any questions of whether or not there's actual steam in this and whether or not this is even makes sense to actually meet, we do have funding. We do have ideas that we actually have been already kind of like putting in front of the funders that they're actually excited about. And, once we can make sure that we're back on solid ground with the funding for PCIP for 2025, there's going to be the additional question of, can we find additional funding? And can we actually bring resources to actually help with bringing capacity to these action planning groups as well? All right, so I know you got a lot of questions. Thank you for just having PCIP back. You are the ones who they can close their eyes and count on that you're there. And when it comes down to community, nothing's more important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Just want to thank everyone, the amazing partners that came out today to support our partnership meeting and the launch of PCIP's Common Agenda for 2025 and beyond. Our goals are very simple: to increase the credential attainment of Pontiac's youth aged 25 and older from 20% to 40% by 2030. We're excited about the goal, and we are confident we can reach it with your help. Thanks for coming out.